Hello and welcome back to Aquarium Citizens. Today's video is going to be about setting up your aquarium and keeping it clean. So before you start setting up the tank, you will need to decide what type of fish you want. Some great starter fish for beginners include mollies, platies, tetras. So once this decision has been made, you can acquire the proper equipment and tank for your selected species of fish. But you should hold off first on purchasing your fish until your tank has already been set up. So creating a habitable environment with safe water conditions can take a lot longer than you think. So to help your fish live the longest and best possible life, following these steps that I'm going to be telling you should help them live as long as possible. So first, select a permanent spot for your fish tank in your home before starting the setup process. So you have to remember that once it is full of water, the aquarium will be too heavy and delicate to move. So the best spot for a fish tank is basically out of direct sunlight and free of drafts. So here is the easy 10-step guide for setting up your aquarium. Step number 1. Rinse the tank with warm water, wiping it out with a paper towel if necessary. Never ever use detergents or soaps of any kind inside of the aquarium. These are pretty harmful for the fish. Step number 2. Thoroughly rinse off your chosen substrate, which is either gravel, aquarium rocks and sand, etc., and any other tank decorations with warm water. Use a colander to rinse the gravel and rocks until the water runs through clear and free of debris. You can add layers of substrate to your tank. Be careful when moving the substrate around, as gravel, rocks and sand can scratch your tank. Add a little extra substrate in areas where you plan on adding plants to their roots so they can have room. Your plants and decorations will be added later. Step number 3. Fill your tank 1/3 of the way with room temperature water, aquarium specific water from a clean bucket. There are 2 types of aquarium specific water you can use. These are pre-treated fish safe aquarium water by the jug bottle from a pet store, or tap water that has been treated with a conditioner like Tetra Aquasave or Tetra Easy Balance Plus. These products remove chlorine as well as other harmful chemicals and heavy metals from the water. So to add water without upsetting the freshly laid substrate, you can place a plate or flat object inside your tank and slowly pour the water into that until it overflows. This will not stir up the substrate. Step number 4. Setting up all your aquarium equipment. Add and turn on your filtration system. Connect your air line tubing from the air pump to produce any bubbles and air-driven decorations that you might have. Step number 5. Aquascape with any live or artificial plants as well as decorations you want to include. Ideally, these can be arranged to hide your air, plumbing lines, and filtration system. If you choose live plants, make sure that the water is warm enough before planting them in the gravel to avoid shocking the roots and killing the plants. Step number 6. Finish filling the tank with aquarium water, leaving some space between the water's surface and the lid, especially if you have fish that are prone to jumping out. Step number 7. Initiate the process of establishing your biological filter. Cycling a tank refers to the colonization of beneficial bacteria, which are nitrifying bacteria, purple non-sulfur bacteria, etc., on specially made media. So cycled media removes dangerous ammonia and nitrate. Central to the process is the addition of fuel for the microbes. So for this, you can use an aquarium-specific ammonia-based concoction. While it was once common to add a cheap hardy starter fish as an ammonia source, the practice is now frowned upon as undue animal cruelty. So the length of cycling time is dependent on many factors. So continue to do water tests once a week throughout the process to be certain that the bile filter has completely stabilized. This means until ammonia and nitrite have risen and then fallen back to non-detectable levels. This can take anywhere between 5 and 7 weeks. Step number 8. Positioning your submersible heater in an area of strong water flow. Then place an in-tank thermometer on the opposite side of the tank as far away from the heater as possible. This will ensure that the whole tank is maintaining the correct temperature. Step number 9. Plug in and turn on the air water pumps, filters, and heater. Let your setup run for 24 hours before adding any fish. This provides time for the temperature to stabilize and for you to make any necessary adjustments. Step number 10. So after waiting for 24 hours, you are now ready to introduce your fish to their new home. You should start with only a few fish. So the general rule is 1 inch of fish per gallon of water. You can then add to your population slowly over the course of a few weeks or months. To add your fish, start by floating the fish bag in the tank water. What this does is adjust temperatures differences in both water so that they are the same. After about 20 minutes, when the temperatures have equalized, gently pour the entire contents of the bag into a clean bucket, not straight into the fish tank. Add approximately a quarter cup of tank water to the bucket every time and every minute until the transport water has been diluted with tank water by a factor of at least 5 times. At this point, it is safe to scoop each fish from the bucket with an aquarium net and carefully release them one by one into the tank. Throw away the wastewater in the bucket. Do not add it to the tank. So here are some tips for maintaining and cleaning your tank. Cleaning your aquarium isn't nearly a complicated task as setting it up. A 25% water change performed every 4 weeks or a 10 to 15% water change every week is recommended for most systems. It is advised to remove your fish only when absolutely necessary. Sometimes when you remove your fish, it can make them stressed and sick. If necessary, gently remove your fish with a net and place them in a large bucket with some of the original tank water. Prior to draining any tank water, turn off the heaters, the pumps and filters and remove all the decorations such as artificial plants. Wash decorations in warm, clean water and set them aside. Using an aquarium gravel cleaner such as a siphon cleaner, vacuum the gravel until you remove about 1/3 of the water from the tank. Again, always make sure to replace the old water with fresh, pre-treated water that's the same temperature as the old water. Purified water is ideal as it contains fewer of the dissolved nutrients that are responsible for runaway algae growth. So that's it for today's video, where I told you about how to set up your aquarium and how to keep it clean. Until the next time, this was Aquarium Citizens. Please like, share and subscribe.